Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Ken Shreve sitting in for my good friend Tom O'Brien for hour number 1 of the Tom O'Brien Show, and then David White is going to be holding down hour number 2 from 5 to 6 Eastern. But thanks very much for tuning in. Don't forget, I have my own show on TFNN if you haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Breakout Investing airs every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 4 Eastern, where I pick apart the market every day, talk about leading growth stocks under pressure, but growth stocks are certainly my bailiwick, so we'll be talking about some growth names acting well today. The number to use to get through is 877-927-6648. 877-927-6648. Don't forget, now you can listen to all TFNN programming. If you're not at your PC, just put those plug those earbuds in your smartphone in and type in tfnn.mobi right in your smartphone browser, tfnn.mobi, and you can listen to the stream that way as well. And as usual, all of the hosts at TFNN here, we go over charts from time to time on our show. And if you want to look at those charts live right along with me, you can do it in Tiger TV. You can watch Tiger TV on your smartphone. You can also watch it on your PC. Just go to TFNN.com. Channel 1, the show is carried live, so be sure to check that out. Okay, well, happy Friday, a great Friday as we head into the 4th of July holiday week. Next week, the stock market will be closed Wednesday, July 4th, and just a half day of trading on Tuesday, so the markets will close at 1 o'clock Eastern. Not expecting much volume in the market next week. In fact, today was supposed to be a fairly low volume day as many people take off early for vacation. But hey, we got some pretty good headlines out of Europe yesterday. Remember, yesterday, Thursday, was not shaping up to be a good day at all. The sellers were out there, the shorts were licking their chops, and we're seeing some leading stocks start to roll over. Tremendous selling pressure in Chipotle Mexican Grill, Under Armour, a lot of growth stocks trying to assert leadership. Ran into a lot of trouble this week, and yesterday was really a rough session. The S&P 500 was down by as much as 1.4%. It finished with just a 0.2% loss. So a lot of buyers come in late. News today: Eurozone leaders agreed to basically allow rescue funds to be used to stabilize, the banks in Spain and Italy. Rising bond yields there, soaring bond yields across the pond have not been good news for the U.S. stock market. So, what's important about this news is that no one was really expecting anything to come out of this 2-day EU summit. There had been 18 prior summits where Eurozone leaders were doing a pretty good job of bickering and arguing, and Angela Merkel steadfast in her belief that she did not want to really help out some of these troubled countries, and so the news out of Europe was very, very good. And make no mistake, the performance of the market today was decidedly bullish. Remember, we got a buy signal from the Nasdaq back on June 15th. June 15th, I believe that was a Friday. It wasn't a strong buy signal. In fact, it was a pretty tepid, lukewarm buy signal that I didn't trust very much. But since I don't like to argue with the market, I took that opportunity to nibble at some stocks. Some worked, some didn't. But back on June 15th, it was only the Nasdaq that was up 1.3%. The Dow, S&P 500 didn't have percentage gains like that. If you look at the percentage gains today, really, really impressive. I mean, it was a broad-based rally. Let's start by looking at the Nasdaq composite. I think the final close here, we had the Nasdaq up a little over 85 points. 3% gain to close at 2935. Again, I was talking about the fact that low volume was expected today. It looks like Nasdaq volume could come in a little bit higher than what we saw yesterday at 1.7 billion. It's going to be pretty close, but Nasdaq volume could come in just a little bit higher than the 1.7 billion shares we saw yesterday. Volume a little heavier on the New York Stock Exchange. So let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500. But before we do that, let's just talk about the NASDAQ real quick here. Up 3%. Certainly the NASDAQ's June 20th intraday high of 2942 is in play here. This is a resistance level. Looks to me like the composite could get over this price level. If it does, then who's to say that 3085 over in this area here could be in play. So bullish day for the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. That was also very strong today. S&P 500 was up 2.5%, 33 points to 1362. 1363 is the swing point for the S&P 500 here. So very strong day for the S&P 500, and volume on the New York Stock Exchange looks to be higher than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, the New York Stock Exchange about 879 million shares. So it looks like we going to come in higher than that. So what does it all mean? Well, again, we had this lukewarm buy signal from the NASDAQ on June 15th. It really didn't amount to much. In fact, we got some pretty intense selling pressure in recent days. Today is the 20th day of a rally attempt that started all the way back in this area. What was that, June 5th? I think the June 5th lows were put in here. Let me just double check that day, but June 4th. June 4th were the intraday lows back here. So we're 20 days into a rally attempt here. We had some mild follow-through on the NASDAQ on June 15th, but today was more follow-through is what it was. And even though it's a bit late, 20 days into the rally attempt, you have to remember, and I've talked about this in the past off and on my show, but back in late December, 2011, we did have a follow-through day for the NASDAQ on December 20th, where it rose, I believe it was a 3% gain, and it was on the 17th day of a rally attempt. So it was very late in the cycle. But you saw what the NASDAQ did after December 20th. It was trading around 2,600 thereabouts, ran up to 3134 through about late March. So I'm going to put some stock into this into the big percentage gains in the major averages today. It doesn't mean that a new bull market is upon us, but I like the breadth. I like the fact that all three indices participated. 3% gain for the NASDAQ, 2.5% for the S&P 500. And I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ Composite much more, but the Dow Jones Industrials also strong today, up 2.2% to 12,880. So, broad-based strength. Follow-through days really should convey strength, power, conviction. I think we did have that today. Now, what's interesting is I'm watching, probably 100, 150 growth stocks on a daily basis. And so when I saw these big gains early in the session, I'm looking 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 4 hours into the session. And, very few growth names out there did I see volume coming in. Okay, a lot of them were rising in low volume. Wasn't much conviction behind the buying in names that I think have the potential to lead. So ironically, I wasn't putting a whole lot of money to work in the market today. I did initiate a couple of small new positions, but I wasn't buying stocks left and right and getting all excited about the big gains for the market today. I know that today was a sign of strength. I know that if it's going to be meaningful, I know that new leadership can take several weeks to play out. So we'll see that process happening next week. We'll see it happening the following week, and we'll even see it happening the week after that. But the bottom line is, where are the institutional investors going to start putting their money? That is not completely clear right now. Outside of the home builders, which have been rallying in spades and are on the verge of good upside breakouts, it's really not clear to me where that institutional money is going yet. But I'm expecting that picture to kind of play out over the next couple of weeks, especially if this market can hold itself together, which I think there's a good chance it might be able to. So we'll see. Folks, we'll be coming right back. Ken Shreve filling in for Tom O'Brien.